Before we begin, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified for my latest videos. What's up YouTube? So I haven't done a video like this before showing all my mains, averages, and methods, so I decided to do one right now. So today I'm going to be showing you all of my main speed cubes, how much I average in each event I do, and what methods I use. So I do 12 events. I do not do blind events, and I do not do FMC. I do all end by end puzzles, I do one-handed, and I do side events. That being said, let's start with 2x2. So for 2x2, my main is the original MGC that was originally set by the Cubicle using the Photoshop method. Although this was released back in 2018, it still is really good. My two previous mains were the Cheetiest and the Jinghen, and they were pretty mediocre. However, the MGC is way better than these two, so it has really smooth and crispy turning, and I do not get lots of lockups unlike these two. I average about 3 seconds on 2x2 using the Ortega method, and since 2x2 isn't really an event I care about, I do not want to let any CLL or EG. My 3x3 main is the Supernova RSVM 2020, which is basically the regular RSVM 2020 with Speedcube Shop's Supernova setup. And this cube is so good, it actually beat my previous main, the 354M. It also beats the 2019 RSVM and the Yulong V2M. The turning of this cube is very soft, it's very smooth, and it's really buttery and really controllable. I average about 9 seconds on 3x3, and the method I use is CFOP. My main for 4x4 is the Aosu GTS-M, not the version 2. And although this was released back in 2017, it's still pretty good. It's better than my previous one, the Little Magic 4x4M, which is alright, not the very best. This does catch lockup and pop, and these problems happen on disc, but they are pretty rare. So the Aosu GTS-M has pretty good turning, but it can overshoot once you add some lube in it. But after 20 solves, the cube will stop becoming extremely fast and more controllable. Unfortunately, you can't buy this cube anymore since it's discontinued, but you can buy something similar, the RS-Form 2020. So I average around sub 40 on 4x4, and the method I use is the Yao method. My 5x5 main is a pretty unpopular opinion, but it's the Yuchuang V2M, which is way better than my previous one, the Yushin Cloud. The Yushin Cloud had decent turning, but it was very unstable, so I decided to upgrade to a magnetic budget 5x5 from YJ. And this does catch a lot, and the inner layers are slower, but other than that, this cube is good. The turning is pretty fast, like every time this cube overshoots, my times become slower, but once you break it in, the cube will become really controllable. I average around sub 120 on 5x5, and I use both the reduction method and the Yao method. For 6x6, my main is the MGC, and my previous main was the XM Shadow, which is really garbage. And it was decent out of the box, but it became worse over time, and I did not want to suffer with setup. So I decided to get a new 6x6, this one's magnetic, the MGC 6x6. And this 6x6 is so good, despite how much it costs. So the turning is very bubbly and smooth, and it can get really fast once you put in lube, but it will get more controllable over time. I average about sub 220 on 6x6, and the main method I use, I actually use two. Just like in 5x5, I use reduction and Yao. My main for 7x7 is the MGC. The previous main is the Yushin Huanglong, which I got back in August 2019. And even after lubrication, it's so bad. It's really unstable and locky. But this 7x7 cured all of its problems. This 7x7 is really stable, it's really controllable and smooth and fast and bubbly. Although it does pop, that only happens if you have pretty loose tension. So I average sub 4 on 7x7, and I use two methods. I use reduction and yaw, just like on 5x5 and 6x6. For one-handed, my main is the 354M. So the 354M is the smallest good cube I have in my collection. Others are like 56. And one thing I don't like about this is that the magnets are too strong for my taste, so I have to apply a little more force. But this is still a really good cube. All GAN cubes are really good. So I average sub 30 on one-handed, and the method I use is CFOP. My Megaminx main is the Yoo-Hoo V2M. My previous mains were the Chi-Hang-S, which was awful, and the Galaxy V2, which was alright, but very slow. I got the Yoo-Hoo V2M, it was so good for its price, only $13. The turning was very fast out of the box, so I tightened each side, and it became more controllable. I average about sub 115 on Megaminx, or sub 110, and the method I use, well, there isn't really a method for Megaminx, but I do use Udafgen S2L. My main Pyraminx, I only own one Pyraminx so far, and it's the Z Magnetic Pyraminx, which not many people know about. It costs $10 and is severely underrated. Although it does have frosted plastics, which I don't really like, the turning is really good, and putting some lube in it will make it very fast and controllable. It does have strong magnets, which is really good. So I average like 5 to 6 seconds on Pyraminx, which is not that great, and I use Intuitive L4E, which is a V-first method. For Cube, I made the Cyclone Boys Magnetic Cube, and my previous main is the Moyu. Missing sticker. Turning is very slow, so the turning on this is really fast and controllable, and I haven't gotten the pop on this cube yet, but it can pop if you have very loose tensions. So I average around 5 to 6 seconds, so not that great. And the method I use is Sarah's Intermediate. My main square one is the MGC square one. And my previous mains were the Chifa S, which is good, but it has stripping, popping, overshooting, and locking up problems. And the Little Magic M, which is also good, but it had bad corner cutting, which I fixed using the B-mod, and I did damage a corner piece. So now I have the MGC square one, and although this does have some flaws, it's still pretty good. And it wasn't great out of the box, so I lubed it, and it's pretty good. I average sub 20 on square one, and the method I use is Vandenberg. Finally, we have clock. I only own one, and it's the Shengshao Magnetic Clock. Although this received mixed reviews, I still think this is pretty good. I tried the Qi before, and it was so good. So the Shengshao is slightly worse, but it's still pretty good. The turning is a bit rocky and stiff, but I started to get used to it, and now I'm fine using this clock. I have a sub 25, and I use the regular clock method. So basically you solve a cross, then you solve a cross on the opposite side, then you solve the corners. So that is it for my video on all of my main Speedcubes, averages, and methods. Comment down below your main Speedcubes, averages, and methods. I'd like to hear from you. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.